Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome down on Djuma, down in South Africa. And what a great start to the show. We have just found what looks like a young male leopard lying down very close to a waterhole. It is very overcast and chilly this afternoon, and I think that's possibly why he's just lying down out in the open. My name is Byron, and on camera with me this afternoon is VM, of course, the wildebeest himself, and we have Megan and Ashley in final control. The Mara team will be joining us, Brent, Jamie and Taylor, a little bit later, but for now, what a great start. We've got a young male leopard that we've just found, and by pure coincidence, VM spotted him, and that's really a wonderful surprise. Now, don't forget, we are live on Safari, so send us your questions and your comments, and you can do that via Twitter. Hashtag Safari Live is how you do it, and we love hearing from all our viewers. And this is a real treat to find a leopard out in the open first thing for our safari this afternoon. Isn't he beautiful? Now, something's caught his attention. I wonder if it isn't perhaps just some water birds walking around. I'm having a look. I don't see any sign of animals walking around here just yet. But he will be aware and alert of what is around the waterhole. He's put his head back down. You see he's curled up. As I said, it is very cool. It's about 70 degrees or 71 degrees Fahrenheit, around 21 degrees Celsius. So fairly cool. There's a chill in the air and this overcast weather that we're having. It's lovely though. It's very nice. Makes for a change for this time of year. It can get very, very hot normally. That leopard not fazed by us at all. Now this looks like it might be Hosana, a young male leopard that we are seeing fairly often at the moment. He's been hanging around, wandering around, trying to just explore this area a little bit. He is still too young to be setting up territory for himself. He's just over a year and a half old, but still, as I said, far too young to really setting up a territory for himself. So not just yet. So he's just going to explore, and as we've seen, he's been meeting up and interacting with a number of other leopards, especially females. Now this young male has been clever. Isn't the last I'm trying to think now, the last week or so, we've seen him 2 or 3 occasions, not stealing, but going and joining another leopard and pushing, especially the females, pushing them off their kills that they have made so that he can feed on it. So that is quite interesting behavior, but very clever behavior. So he is opportunistic, and male leopards do that from time to time, where they will go and steal kills from females. It's a bit easier than hunting from themselves. Now I'm going to sit here with this male leopard for a while and see what he gets up to. I don't think he's going to move, but as I said, Taylor, Brent and Jamie are in the Mara. Taylor would like to show you a beautiful vista at the moment. Taylor, she's probably got some technical issues at the moment, but not to worry. I've just repositioned, got a little bit closer to this male leopard. We've got a wonderful view of him. I'm just enjoying lying out at the dam. And as I said, they are opportunistic, and surprisingly, even though he's out in the open, he's very well camouflaged. I mean, if we look back a little bit, if we zoom out there, VM, thanks very much. Just look how well camouflaged he is. The light is quite low at the moment because of the cloudy conditions that we have, and he blends in perfectly to that bank, that dam wall that's on the side of the dam over there. So if anything comes down to drink, he may try and seize the opportunity and catch something, but it all depends. He is a bit exposed, so it would be difficult to stalk anything, but he may be able to use some of the vegetation around if any animal is approaching through the thickets behind him. But for the moment, he just looks like he's resting very comfortably over there. Riti, you asked at what age do leopards wander off alone? Well, Riti, on average, young leopards will become independent at about a year and a half. That's the average age given. However, it can happen that they move off a little bit younger than that. Now, in this young male's case, what happened, and some of you may know this, but his mother was a very dominant female in this area. Her territory was most of Djuma. She died earlier this year, and him and his sister became independent a lot earlier. So at about a year old, I think they were just over a year. Now that is quite early for a young leopard to become independent, but they survived. And they're doing very well. Now, some of you have asked what has happened to his sister, the young female leopard, Shongile. Now, I don't know. We haven't seen her for quite some time. I'm sure she is still around, maybe because there's a lot of other leopard activity, female leopard activity in this area. Remember, we are seeing another female leopard known as Tandi and another female Shadow. They have been moving around here a lot. So that would put pressure on that young female leopard, and she would most likely move into a different territory where there aren't as many female leopards around. So I think that's possibly why we haven't seen her. Even though she's a young leopard, those females would possibly still take her as a potential threat and just push her out of their territories. The male, he is a bit luckier. He doesn't have to worry about the females. As you've seen, and I mentioned earlier, he's been chasing them off kills, trying to capitalize on their kills that they've made. The dominant male leopards in the area, and probably the most important one, is a big male leopard known as Tingana. And he's tolerating this young male at the moment because he is still young. So he's not challenging him for territory. So he's no threat just yet. But if he gets a bit older, I'm assuming that that male leopard would potentially then push him off and push him out of this territory. And Debbie, you were wondering when this young male leopard will start marking territory. Now, Debbie, again, an average age, maybe 4 years old, between 4 and 5, they generally start setting up territories for themselves. It could be slightly earlier, depending if there's no dominant male leopards around, if he can find a territory before that. But I suppose generally an average age would be around 4 years old, between 4 and 5 years old, from what I've seen in the past from young male leopards. And that's generally when they are big enough to also challenge other male leopards for territory. Now, Rasta, generally speaking, leopards can be territorial towards their own offspring or family members. And the reason for that is purely competition. Leopards are generally solitary animals. We know this, we've seen this many times. Again, even though, excuse me a second, sorry. A firm, make your way straight in. He's lying just on the dam wall, close to the water in the center of the dam wall. So as I was saying, because they are solitary animals, they will have competition between each other and chase other leopards out, even if they are related. Yeah, I've seen dominant males chase away younger males that are their offspring. Excuse me, they are their offspring, but it's still potential competition, and male leopards don't like that, so they would still push them out. It does happen. Now we have seen interaction between different leopards a lot recently, a lot in the last 2 weeks, in fact. A number of times we've had 2 or 3 leopards in sightings. So it's interesting to see the interaction that they are having. But for the moment, he's still young, no threat, so he'll stick around this area. But as I said, at some point, he's most likely going to be pushed out by a dominant male leopard. So Rasta, generally speaking, even if it's family members, they will still be pushed out and they will still have to set up their own territory. Stacey, you were asking how much do leopards weigh, and this young male leopard, how much would he weigh? Now, Stacey, sometimes there are various weights that are given in different books. You know, occasionally, I suppose a captive leopard would be a lot heavier than a wild leopard. Generally speaking, a female leopard, about 30 to 40 kilograms on average, and a male leopard, about 70 to 80 kilograms. Now, that is what I have read, and I have asked some researchers from Panthera. They are a research group that deal a lot with big cats, and they have told me that big male leopards will weigh 75 to 80 kilograms generally. So there's possibly an exception of maybe a larger male leopard, but again, as long as they don't weigh them when they obviously have full bellies, then they would weigh a lot more. This young male leopard, I don't know, is probably around 50, 60 kilograms, I would say, somewhere around there. As I said, the weights of certain animals, depending on what material you're using as a reference, weights can vary. So generally, just give I'd say a rough estimate of weights. That's why I say between 70 and 80 kilograms. I have read somewhere that male leopards can get up to 90 or 100 kilograms. Now, I chatted to researchers about that, and none of them, they say the biggest leopards that they've caught and weighed in Africa are about 80 kilograms, 82 kilograms. So I doubt they get up to that size. It sounds more like a jaguar to me. Tammy, you say you really like his pillow. Does look like he's found a nice little spot to rest his head on that little branch over there. But I see, look how he's put his paw on that branch, so he's resting his head on his paw. Such a nice start to the afternoon. I know Wiem is very happy, firstly because he spotted the leopard, and secondly because it is a leopard, and Wiem loves watching big cats. You happy, Wiem? Mm-hmm. Yep.
Looking for him all day.
Wiem says he's been looking for him all day. Okay, now from this rather powerful big cat that we have here, Brent has got a how should we say, a slender big cat, racing cat. Fastest. Seems like we've just lost signal there with Jamie, I think, who was driving through the mud in the Mara at the moment, but we're still sitting with a very relaxed young male leopard. Now, Hosana hasn't moved. He's changed positions a few times, but I think you can see he's curled up there. As I said earlier, it is quite cool, so that's possibly why he's decided to lie just down in the open near this little waterhole or this little dam, but very, very relaxed. Such a beautiful view of him, such a beautiful view. Branch that is there. He's not doing too much at the moment, so we'll probably drive around and see what else we can find, and we'll give it another few minutes. I mean, it's always wonderful to see a leopard like this. Now, Riti, you were wondering, with it getting colder and raining, will less animals come to the water? Well, Riti, I wouldn't say with it getting colder. Remember in winter when the temperature is cold, it's now we're moving into summer, so it is it's going to get a lot warmer. But in winter when it's colder, we still get the animals going down to drink. They have to go and drink, and yes, when it is warmer, they will go to the water and drink a lot more. But also what you need to remember is with the rain, what happens is you get a lot of little mud pools and little wallows that fill up with water. So there's a lot more water spread out throughout the bush. They won't necessarily have to go to the dams or the big rivers, because there are little pools of water around that the animals will drink from. And we saw it the other day. I think one of the leopards went and drank from a little pool or little wallow. So they will do that, especially with more rain coming. So they won't have to go to the big dams anymore. But they still pass them. They will still have a drink. But I suppose the cool weather, maybe the animals don't move down as often. However, they still need to go and drink. So they will still go down to the waterhole to drink. No, he doesn't look like he is interested in moving at all. Tristan said it looked like the tracks of this young male leopard of Hosana were all the way around camp early this morning. So I wonder if he's moved during the day. With this cool weather, you will get a lot more movement from predators, leopards, lions too, for that matter. And when it is a bit cooler, they may look to hunt or move around a lot more than they would when it's really warm conditions. But in saying that, it's interesting to see this leopard's not interested in moving around, although maybe he's been moving around during the course of the day, and that's why he's now decided to rest for a few hours. These animals are very clever. They do conserve their energy, so it is important for them to rest. Look at that. Beautiful. You can see he's got fairly large paws already. Now, got a question from another guide, and he's also a private guide, Warren Pearson. And Warren wants to know, why do leopards sleep so much? So Warren, obviously watching the show and learning a lot from Safari Live. Warren, leopards sleep a lot because they conserve their energy like lions. They don't sleep as much as lions do, but they do rest and save their energy and generally move around a lot more at night. However, we've seen leopards moving during the day too, and especially in cooler conditions like this, cooler days rather, like this, then leopards will move around a lot more. But they do rest. They do conserve their energy and then move around a lot at night. It's easier for them to hunt under the cover of darkness. So that's generally why most of these predators, or lions and leopards especially, rest and they move around far more at night. Okay, so I think we're going to move on from this leopard. Let's go see what else we can find. I'd love to find some elephant this afternoon, but let's go across now to Brent in the Mara, who's got some cheetah to show you. Wonderful to have you on our school drive this afternoon, and you've joined us at a great time. We've just got a view of a beautiful young male leopard who's moving through a thicket at the moment, and we'll see if hopefully he comes out for us. Now, these are very secretive big cats, the leopards, and you can see how well camouflaged they are, and they blend in with this dry vegetation. Now, we are all the way down in South Africa, quite far from where Brent is, as he was explaining, and this is one of the big cats that we see quite regularly down here. Beautiful, beautiful leopards. Definitely one of my favorites. Look at him. Isn't he beautiful? There he goes. Now it's a cool afternoon here, and I think that's why he has decided to move around quite a bit. Now, for those of you who did join us, my name is Byron, and VM is on camera with me this afternoon. Let's see if we can try get a better view of this leopard. He's moving through there. Now it's going to be very difficult to follow him through here. You can see how thick the bush is, but I'm so glad that we did get a glimpse of him for you, so you could see him. Now don't forget to send your questions through to us. Just ask your teachers to feed them through, and we'll happily answer them for you. Let's see if I can get a better little view. I don't think so. I don't think we'll get a view through here. You know what? I do know. See, it's not easy being a guide around here in Africa. The bush is very thick. The animals move around. I'm going to try my best to get another view of this leopard for you. There is, I know, a little gap through here somewhere that we can take, and I might be able to get another view of him. Hold on, I think I've driven through here before. Is just through at the back here. He's sitting down just over there. Yeah, I think come through. You follow me here. Sorry, there are just some other people out on safari at the moment too, and they also want to see this big cat. Stick with me. Hold on. Alright, there's a little gap for us now. I need to see if we can spot. He might be just on the edge here. Some nice thick drainage line, so ideal for leopard to move through. There he is, there he is. I can see him, I can see him. Hold on. Hold on, hold on. There he is, there he is. There he is. Look at that. That's a beautiful view of him. There he goes. Oh, great. Now, I do think we might lose this leopard soon because he's moving through a very thick area, and it's not going to be easy to follow him. What a nice surprise. We actually found this leopard earlier, but he was lying down, he was resting, but now I think that the temperature's cooled down and it's getting closer to night time for us. That's why this leopard is now up and moving around and possibly going to look for some food. You never know. Okay, well, I'm just going to see if maybe get another view of him, but while I do that, let's go across to my friend Taylor back in the Masai Mara, very far from here, and she's got a spotlight out at the moment. We are indeed, Taylor. Good luck with your amphibian search over there, and we still, luckily, still have a view of this young male leopard, and he's just busy eyeing out the area. Lexi, you asked how can we tell the difference between a leopard and cheetah, and I'll show you, Lexi. I'll get back to that question. I just don't want us to take the camera off this young leopard and lose him, because I think once he moves from there, we're probably not going to see him again. But just have a good look at him, Lexi. If you see, if you look at that pattern on his body, it's actually, they are known as rosettes. Those beautiful black markings on the body, they are called rosettes. It's not a very clear spot, it's a rosette. Whereas the cheetah have got very clear spots all over their body. So that is one difference between the two. The other one is the cheetah is a slightly taller animal, but much thinner, more slender. Now that is because the cheetah is built for high speed. They run very, very fast. The fastest land mammal is the cheetah. And now the leopard is a little bit shorter, but a very powerful cat. Very muscular, and now a leopard can climb trees very well, whereas a cheetah can't. Look, he's just decided to lie down. Did he see something? I wonder, or is he just lying down and resting? And Lucas, you were wondering how fast a leopard is. Well, a leopard is also very fast, but a much shorter distance, over a much shorter distance. So Lucas, he could cover just a couple of yards when they pounce on their prey. So the difference between cheetah and leopards, the leopards are ambush predators. So they lie in the bush just like this young male is doing now, and they'll wait for something to walk past and then pounce and try and catch their prey. But they can move very quickly over a short distance. So within a few seconds they can cover about 10 or 15 yards very, very quickly, just in a few split seconds. Whereas a cheetah will run down prey over a certain distance, let's say about 150 meters, so about a 100 meters, so call it I think to make it easier, a football field, about the length of a football field. They'll try to stalk a little bit close and then run down their prey, and they can run about that distance at a very, very fast speed, around about 110 kilometers an hour, about 60 miles per hour. Very, very fast, very fast. So different to a leopard. Now, Natalia, you asked how can we tell a male and female leopard apart? Well, Natalia, the male leopards are much bigger than the females. So if anything, the first thing you can look at is the size. The male leopards are bigger. They do look very, very similar. However, the males, their heads are much bigger and rounder, and they are almost double the size of a female leopard. So much, much bigger, Natalia. Beautiful, beautiful big cat. Tommy, you're asking how old leopards can get. Now, Tommy, in the wild, they can, just like this leopard is in the wild, obviously, they can live up to about, males will live to between 12 and maybe 15 years old. Let's see, has he seen something? Just have a look. He seems to be stalking something. Oh, there he goes. Oh, no, I don't know. Let's try and have a look. See, I can't see what he's spotted. But there he disappears. He disappears. We'll try and have a look if I can see him on the other side. I'll move around. Tommy, male leopards, roughly around 12 to 15 years old. Female leopards can live a bit older, up to about 17 years old in the wild. That's the average age for leopards. Now, Lexi, just getting back to your question, let me show you a picture of the cheetah quickly to show you the difference. There we go. That is a cheetah. Is that better? There. See, now the cheetah, very tall, slender cat with beautiful spots all over the body. You see that, like we saw in the Mara earlier. So very, very different to that of the leopard. Long tail that they use for steering when they are running at top speeds. Their tail acts as a balance, but you can see very tall, big cat with these beautiful spots. And also a clear marking on the cheetah, those beautiful tear marks. Do you see down the face? They've got those black tear marks that run down their face. Now let me show you a picture of the leopard quickly. Just like the leopard we saw, there's a nice side view. Those beautiful rosettes. You see, it's not a clear spot. They have got little spots around the body in certain places, but you can see it's a rosette. It's not a perfect spot. A shorter cat, very muscular. And then have a look at the face. This is a lovely view of the face of the male. This is a male leopard over here, big face. And you see no tear marks down the side of the face like that cheetah has. So Lexi, I hope you can now tell the difference between a cheetah and a leopard. Now let's quickly drive around. I'm going to see if I can find him again. I just need to try and navigate through this thick section of bush. But while I do that, let's quickly go back all the way to the Masai Mara. Taylor has got a spotlight out and she's searching for little creatures. Now, how cool is this, everyone? We've got... Oh, what's he... What did he see? What did he see? He just ran through there. Now we've got our infrared on, so it's getting dark, but you can still see pretty well with our infrared.